Hare Krishna, welcome everyone to our Chaitanya Caritamrta class. We'll begin with our prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादां सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, welcome everyone to our Chaitanya Charitamrta class. We are continuing our discussion from Madhya lila. We are in chapter 17, which is entitled Lord Travels to Vrindavan. In this chapter, so far we have heard the Lord, he took permission from his devotees at Jagannath Puri and Nityanand Prabhu, Sarup Damodar Goswami, they requested that please take Balbhadra Bhattacharya, one person, and one more Brahman. So Mahaprabhu agreed. He left. He traveled through many places, ultimately reaches Jharikhand forest. Mahaprabhu is in ecstasy in Vrindavan, in Jharikhand forest. He is inducing ferocious animals, lions, elephants to chant and dance in holy names. Even inimical animals, ferocious animals. Lion was friendly with the deers. This Balbhadra Bhattacharya, he was very surprised and amazed to see this scene where the animals are dancing. That is Vrindavan. Yatra Naisarga Durvaira Sahasan Nrimrigadaya Mitraniva Ajitavasa Dhutrutu Tarshakadikam. There is no envy, there is no enmity in Vrindavan. So Balbhadra Bhattacharya, he was serving Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very nicely, affectionately. Mahaprabhu was very pleased. It is because of you I experienced such wonderful joy coming through the forest path, and I didn't experience even the slightest of the trouble. Balbhadra Bhattacharya in humility says, it is your mercy, my Lord, you have brought me to this wonderful place to assist you, to serve you. Ultimately, Mahaprabhu reaches Varanasi. He met Tapan Mishra as he was taking bath in Manikarnika Ghat. Tapan Mishra was very, very happy to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, brought him to his home. Entire family washed the feet of Mahaprabhu, put the water on their head, and Chandrasekhar Acharya also came. He was a known person from Navadvipa. Both of them were very happy. Tapan Mishra requested Mahaprabhu to stay for 10 days, some days. Although Mahaprabhu had no plan to stay, but still, just to please his devotees, Mahaprabhu stayed for 10 days in Varanasi. A Brahmana came and he saw wonderful uh, dance and kirtan of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He went to Prakashananda Saraswati and he described the beautiful activities of Lord Sri Chaitanya. Prakashananda Saraswati was a Mayavadi. He said, yes, I have heard about this Chaitanya. He is a sentimental sannyasi. he's dancing and chanting. Don't associate with him. So Mahaprabhu, so this Brahmana, when he hears all this, he becomes very sad. He was already, influenced by the wonderful devotion of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Already became devotee. He came back to Mahaprabhu and told what all things Prakashananda Saraswati was telling. And he asked why Prakashananda could not take the name of Krishna. Even once he didn't take the name of Krishna. He chanted Chaitanya 3 times. Mahaprabhu told that Mayavadis, they are offenders at the lotus feet of Krishna. They can't take their name. They deride the form of Krishna. So therefore, it is impossible for them to take the names of Krishna. Krishna and his name are identical. You cannot perceive Krishna by material senses. Atah Shri Krishna Namadi na bhavet grahyam indriyai sevon mukhehi jihvadav. And then Mahaprabhu described many, many wonderful philosophical conclusions of who can perceive Krishna. He described the various transcendental qualities of Krishna. He described the pastimes of Krishna are so attractive, even impersonalists who are not offenders. That is Brahmavadis, not Mayavadis. Mayavadis are offenders. Brahmavadis means they accept the form of Krishna, but they are more attracted to the impersonal form. Because they are not offenders, when they come in touch with Krishna, they become purified, they become devotees. Mahaprabhu describes the story of Kumara, how they became devotees just by smelling the fragrance of aroma, fragrance of the tulsi, which is offered at the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. So speaking all this, Mahaprabhu ultimately, he accepts this Brahmana as devotee, shows mercy to him, and the next morning he departs for Mathura. So we'll continue from verse number 147. So when Mahaprabhu, he started for Mathura, all 3 of these devotees, Tapan Mishra, Chandrasekharacharya, and that Brahman, they all started to go with him. We will also come. Mahaprabhu stopped them. He said, please don't come with me, stay at home. That's what happens with Mahaprabhu always. Whoever comes in touch with Mahaprabhu, they want to give up their everything and accompany Mahaprabhu. That was the case of Kurma Brahman also. He also wanted to give up everything and go with Mahaprabhu. So feeling very sad, these 3 devotees, they came back. Every day they would meet and they would discuss the wonderful pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the qualities of the Lord, absorbed in ecstatic love. That's how they were spending their days. Parasparanu kathanam pavanam bhagavateshaha mitharati mithatushti nivriti mithatmanaha. That's how the devotees, they spend their day, by always discussing about Krishna. In fact, a day is not inauspicious when the sun is not there. But when there is no Krishna Katha, that day is inauspicious. Yaddinam durdinam manye megha channam durdinam yaddinam Krishna sanlapa katha piyusha varjitam. If there is no Krishna Katha, that day is inauspicious. Because Krishna Katha makes everything auspicious. And devotees, their life is Krishna Katha. Then they come together and discuss. Majjatta madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. That's how they enjoy, that's how they relish. And that's what gives them satisfaction. So these 3 people, they were the only devotees in entire Varanasi. So every day they would come together and they would discuss Krishna Katha. Mahaprabhu ultimately reaches Prayag. He took bath at the confluence of the 3 rivers, Ganga, Yamuna, and invisible Saraswati. He then went to the temple of Veni Madhav. He chanted and danced there. Srila Prabhupada writes something about the Prayag. He says this name Prayag is given because successful sacrifices are performed there. Prakrishto yaga. Prakrishto yago yagphalam yasmat. He quotes this verse from scriptures. He says, if one performs yajna at Prayag, sacrifice at Prayag, one gets the results immediately. That's the power of Prayag. Without difficulty, one will get the result of the sacrifices. Prayag is called Tirth Raj. And at Prayag, everywhere, every year, Magh Mela happens. And once in 12 years, the Kumbh Mela is held, which happened just this year. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as soon as he saw this Yamuna, he went into ecstasy. He jumped in Yamuna. And Balbhadra, he had to just hold on to Mahaprabhu. Somehow he brought him to the shore. He was very affectionate to Mahaprabhu. He was not thinking why he is doing all this, giving me troubles. Snigdha. And that's what Swarup Damodar told. Tomate susnigdha vada pandit sadhu arya. So this Balbhadra, he is having such loving affection for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he is very lovingly taking care of all the things of Mahaprabhu. Hey mata teen din prayage rohila, Krishna nama prema diya lok nistarila. So in this way, Mahaprabhu stayed at Prayag for 3 days. And Gaudiya Vaishnavas, why we go to a holy place? Because Mahaprabhu has gone there. There is no other purpose. Gaurama Reshabastane Korila Brahman Range Sheshabastane Heribo Ami Pranai Bhakat Sange. Whenever we decide to go to a holy place, we should go to a place where Mahaprabhu has performed his pastimes. That is the main motive of a Gaudiya Vaishnava. To visit the pastime places of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and hear about those places. So Mahaprabhu stayed at Prayag for 3 days. And what he did there? Krishna Nama Prema Diya Lokanistarila. Wherever Mahaprabhu goes, he has only one purpose, to distribute the holy names of the Lord. He delivered many people. He would chant and dance in Kirtan, delivered many people. Wherever the Lord stopped to take rest, he would just sing and dance in Kirtan of the names of the Lord. He was always absorbed in ecstatic love for Krishna. And people were also ecstatic when people would see Mahaprabhu. Mathuravasis, when these Prayagvasis, they saw Mahaprabhu, they were ecstatic. So Kaviraj Goswami describes, just like when Mahaprabhu went to South India, he delivered many people. We have heard how he was delivering people. And his mode of preaching was very simple. And that's what Mahaprabhu is, the Supreme Lord. He would go, he would embrace a person, give him love of God, he would be ecstatic. And that person would go to his village, he would embrace many people, give them love of God. They all would be ecstatically dancing and singing. Then if somebody else from other village is coming from this village, he would also see, just by seeing these people, he would become ecstatic. He would go to his village. That's how he was delivering villages after villages. Similarly now, in the Western India, he is delivering many people to Vaishnavism. As Mahaprabhu is going towards Mathura, he came across the river Yamuna many times. And as soon as he would see Yamuna, he would jump in ecstatic love. And then he would fall unconscious. Balbhadra Bhattacharya, every time he had to rescue Mahaprabhu, bring him out of Yamuna. And after traveling for some days, ultimately he reached Mathura. As he reached Mathura, he fell unconscious in ecstasy. offered full obeisances, just like we have heard how Akrura, when he entered Vrindavan from Mathura, when he saw the footprints of Krishna in the dust of Vrindavan, he was ecstatic. He jumped off his chariot, started rolling in the dust of Vrindavan, not thinking that I am a minister. Maevam mamadhamasyapi syatevaच्युत darshana riyamanam kalanadya kvachittarati kaschana. I am so adhama, fallen, sinful, by some inconceivable good fortune. Today, I will get darshan of the Supreme Lord Krishna. Just like in the waves of a river, the straws they come together by some inconceivable arrangement. Today I will get darshan of Krishna. That is the mood of Akrura. Mahaprabhu was very, very ecstatic. He fell on the ground, offered obeisances to Mathura, and then he entered Mathura. He went to Vishram Ghat. He took bath there at Vishram Ghat. Then he went to visit the place, the birthplace of Krishna. And there is a deity named Keshavji. Still today it is there, the Keshavji Mandir in Mathura. He offered obeisances to Keshavji temple, the deity there. Srila Prabhupada writes some details about this Keshavji temple. Aurangzeb, he attacked this temple, destroyed it. Somehow deities were saved. He made a huge mosque there. Today also it is there. Later, some Marwadi, devotees, they made another bigger temple, which is still existing. So Srila Prabhupada writes, this Krishna consciousness movement is attracting many foreigners to Keshavji temple. And now, we are building Krishna Balram temple in Vrindavan. They will be attracted to Krishna Balram also in Vrindavan. We see many times in the Chaitanya Caritamrta purports, Prabhupada writes some very, very intimate things which he relishes, which he likes. He writes about his struggles. He writes about his victory. He writes about his frustrations he's going through because of some issues. He doesn't do so in Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is a pan-Vedic book. Everybody reads it. So there Prabhupada just describes the proper philosophy. Bhagavatam is a little more intimate, but Sri Chaitanya Caritamrta is a heart. And Srila Prabhupada in his purports here, he has written many of the intimate things which he is going through. So here he is writing, Krishna consciousness movement is attracting many foreigners to Keshavji temple. And now they'll be attracted to Krishna Balaram temple in Vrindavan. We are building that temple. Premanande nache gaye sagana hunkar Prabhur prema vesha dekhi loke chamatkar. Mahaprabhu is as usual, he's dancing in ecstasy. Premanande nache gaye, sometimes he's roaring, saghana hunkar, making loud vibrations. And when Mathuravasis, when they see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in such condition, they are amazed. Mahaprabhu, as he comes to Mathura, one Brahman comes as he is chanting and dancing. Mahaprabhu is chanting and dancing in the Kirtan of the names. One Brahman comes, he falls at the feet of Mahaprabhu and he also starts dancing in ecstatic love. They both are dancing for hours together, raising their hands. Sometimes they embrace each other. And they are both chanting, they are both singing and telling others, chant the holy names of Hari and Krishna. And all the people, they began to chant Hari, Hari. Everybody is ecstatic, just seeing these two people dancing in ecstasy. So when Mahaprabhu is doing such a wonderful kirtan and dancing, the priest of Keshavji temple, he brings the Maha garland of Keshavji and puts on Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And whoever saw Mahaprabhu in such mood, they said it is not an ordinary thing. He is extraordinary. He is not an ordinary person. Yahar darshane loke premamatahya hase kande nache gaye Krishna namalaya. They are discussing among each other. Just by looking at, just by taking darshan of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Yahara Darshane, people are getting mad in ecstasy of the names of Krishna. They are singing, they are dancing, they are crying, laughing, all the ecstatic symptoms they are manifesting. Krishna Nam, as they are chanting the names of Krishna. Evam vratasva priyanama kirtya jata anurago drutachitta uchai Hasatyatharau datirauti gayan unmadavan nrityati lokabahya. These are the ecstatic symptoms which all the devotees, all the Mathuravasis are exhibiting. He's absorbing everyone in love of God, singing, dancing, crying in ecstasy, laughing in ecstasy. It's like Prahlad Maharaj, the same things are described. न्यस्त क्रीडनको बालो जडवत्तन मनस्तया कृष्ण ग्रह गृहीतात्मा नवेद जगदीदृशम. When you would experience the presence of Krishna, you would see Krishna, you would laugh, you would be happy, you would dance. And when you would not perceive Krishna, you would cry. So all these Mathura Vasis they're experiencing, they're discussing. Indeed, everybody is maddened in love of Krishna because of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sarvatha nishchita iho Krishna avatar Mathura ila lokera porite nistar. And all of them, they came to this conclusion. For sure, certainly Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in all respects, Sarvatha, he is the avatar of Krishna. And he has come to Mathura to deliver people in general. After this kirtan was over, Mahaprabhu stopped. Mahaprabhu was also amazed to see this Brahmana dancing such ecstatically and love of God. He had never experienced anything like this in people. He took this Brahmana aside and began to question. Arya sarala tumi vriddha Brahman kaha haite paile tumi ei premadhan. Mahaprabhu understood that this person has love of God in his heart. And it is not so easy to get this. He says, you are elderly Brahmana, you are sincere, you are so very simple, you are very advanced in spiritual life. From where have you received this prema? It is not so ordinary. You have received this ecstatic love of God. Kaha haite paile tumi? From where you have gotten this? Then Brahman, he describes the secret. He says, one time, Sripad Madhavendra Puri, he came to Mathura on his way to Vrindavan. We have heard this story of Madhavendra Puri as he brought out the deity of Gopalji, Srinathji. On the way to Vrindavan, he came to Mathura. And this Brahman says, while at Mathura, Madhavendra Puri stayed at my house and he accepted prasad made by me. And he accepted me as his disciple. And then after installing the deity of Gopalji in Vrindavan, Madhavendra Puri, he rendered service to the deity, and that deity is still being worshipped at Govardhan Hill. This Brahman is telling to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I became disciple of Sri Madhavendra Puri. He accepted me. That is the secret. And we have heard, who is Madhavendra Puri? Bhakti Kalp Taru Teho Prathama Ankur. Jaya Jaya Madhavapuri Krishna Prema Pura Bhakti Kalpataru Teho Prathama Ankur. He is the first sprout from the seed of the Bhakti Lata beach. The tree of Bhakti which Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought in this world, Madhavendra Puri is the first sprout, Prathama Ankur. And only Madhavendra Puri can give love of God. Before Madhavendra Puri, it was not available. Madhavendra Puri brought this Prema Rasa, Radha Krishna Prema Rasa. It was not there. As Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard this, immediately he offered full Dandavat Pranam to this Brahmana. Shuni Prabhu Koila Tar Charana Bandhan. Bhai Paiya Prabhu Pai Padila Brahman. And this Brahman, he was surprised and he became fearful. Why are you offering me obeisances? You are a sannyasi and I am a Brahman. I am a simple Brahman. He was fearful. What happened? Mahaprabhu says, Prabhu kahe tumi guru ami shishya praye. Guru haiya shishya namaskar na yuyaye. So Mahaprabhu, very humbly, beautiful exchange is happening here. Ami Shishya and Tumi Guru. I am a disciple, you are my Guru. And you should not offer respects to me. Guru Haya Shishya Namaskarana Yuvai. Why are you offering obeisances to me? I should offer obeisances to you. And this Brahman is getting confused. What is happening here? Why is he speaking all this? I am Guru and he is disciple. He is becoming afraid. कुछ गलती नहीं हो गया ना, पता नहीं ऐसा क्यों बोल रहे हैं. He says, why do you speak like this? You are a sannyasi. So, and then this Brahman says, seeing you, I could understand that there must be some relationship you have with Madhavendra Puri. Brahman is telling to Mahaprabhu. Kintu tomar prema dekhi mane anumani Madhavendra Puri ra sambandha dhara jani. Because only Madhavendra Puri can give this love of God. So I assume that there must be some relation you have with Madhavendra Puri. Krishna prema taha yaha tahara sambandha taha bina ye premera taha nahi gandha. This Brahman is telling. This ecstatic love can be experienced only when one has relation with Madhavendra Puri. Otherwise, without him, even a scent of this transcendental love of God is not possible. Impossible. So this Brahman is also thinking, you must have some relation with Madhavendra Puri, otherwise it is not possible. Bhaktya sanjayate bhakti. Only a person who has love can give love to somebody. This Brahman is understanding, must be some relation you have with Madhavendra Puri. So Balabhadra Bhattacharya, he explained the relationship between Madhavendra Puri and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He told that Madhavendra Puri, his disciple is Ishwar Puri, and Ishwar Puri's disciple is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Brahmana heard this, he became so happy, ecstatic, he began to dance. Very pleased. So Mahaprabhu was right because he is disciple of Madhavendra Puri, this Brahman. So he is like God brother. He is like the spiritual master's God brother. So that's why Mahaprabhu said, Tumi Guru Ami Shishya Pray. You are my Guru. I am your disciple because God brother of my spiritual master. So this Brahmana, he was very happy. He took Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to his home and he began to serve Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu out of affection. He was so very happy. And something interesting happened. This Brahman, he asked Balbhadra Bhattacharya to cook. He didn't cook himself because he was not a very high class Brahman. He was a Brahman from a lower caste. So he told Balbhadra, he gave all the ingredients to Balbhadra Bhattacharya and said, you please cook for Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu says, oh, Madhavendra Puri has taken lunch in your home. So therefore, you can cook and give me food. That is my instruction. So he's giving instruction to Sanodia Brahman. So this Brahman is, his caste is Sanodia Brahman. He says, Are Mahaprabhu accepted from your home. You cooked for him. So you please cook for me also. Yad yad acharati sreshtas tat tad eve taro jana sa yat pramanam kurute lokastat anuvartate. Mahaprabhu speaks this verse. Whatever great people do, common people follow. So this Brahman belonged to a Sonodia caste. And therefore, sannyasis, they don't accept food prepared by Sanodia Brahman. So who is this Sanodia Brahman and what is the whole story? Srila Prabhupada writes in detail in the purport about what is this Sanodia Brahman. He says in northwest India, the Vaishyas are divided into three subdivisions. Agarwal, Kalavar, and Sanwad. So he says Agarwalas, they are the first class Brahmins. And this Kalavaras, they are not first class. They take intoxicants also. They take wine. And the priests who guide Kalavara and Stanavada, they are called as Sanodia Brahmins. They are not high class priests. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he describes that in Bengal, this Sanoyad, Sanoyad, in Bengali, it is written as Suvarna Vanik. And we all know Suvarna Vanik community. Srila Prabhupada was in that Suvarna Vanik family, Malik family. So generally, Suvarna Vaniks, they are dealers of gold and silver, they are businessmen. And the Western India, Agarwalas also do the same business. So that is the original business of the Suvarna Vanik community or Agarwala community. And the Sanodia Brahmins, they were the guides of the Kalavaras and Sanavad. They are not high class Brahmins. So therefore, Mahaprabhu, so this Brahman was saying, oh, I am not a high class Brahman, but Mahaprabhu accepted the food cooked by Sanodia Brahman because he was a disciple of Madhavendra Puri. A Vaishnava is always far, far greater than any Brahman. Brahmananam sahasrebhya satrayaji vishishyate satrayaji sahasrebhya sarva vedanta paraga sarva vedanta vitkotya vishnu bhakta vishishyate Vaishnavanam sahasrebhya ekantyeko vishishyate. Out of thousands of Brahmanas, one who can do yajna, that is the best. Out of thousands of those who can do yajna, one who knows Vedanta is the best. Out of thousands who know Vedanta, one who knows Vishnu is the devotee of Vishnu is the best. Vedesha sarvai rahame vidyo vedant krit ved videvacham, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. And out of thousands of Vaishnavas, one may know him in truth. So Brahmanas, they are wonderful, but Vaishnavas are far, far greater. And what to speak of a Vaishnava who has love of God. So therefore, although this Brahman belonged to Sanodia community, but because he was a disciple of Sri Madhavendra Puri, Mahaprabhu said, it is my instruction that you cook for me. And Mahaprabhu, he willingly accepted the food prepared by this Brahman. And this Brahman, Very humble. Naturally, he was very humble. He started speaking after feeding Mahaprabhu wonderful prasad. He spoke to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in a humble way. तुम्हारे भिक्षा दीव बड़ा भाग्य से हमार तुम ईश्वर नहीं तुम्हार विधि व्यवहार. It is my great fortune that I will prepare food and you will accept that food prepared by me. I understand that you are Supreme Lord, so therefore all the ordinary rules and regulations, they are not applicable to you. You are not restricted in any way. मूर्ख लोक करिबेक तुम्हार निंदन सहिते न पारिमु से दुष्टेर वचन. So this Brahman is very strongly speaking these words. He says, all the foolish people, they will insult you, they'll blaspheme you, but I will not tolerate any of this. Sahitena parimu say dushtera vachan. I shall not tolerate the words of these mischievous people. Srila Prabhupada writes in detail about this. He quotes Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. Although the Brahmana did not belong to superior community, he fearlessly chastised the so-called caste Brahmins. Why? Because he was situated on the platform of pure devotional service. He had the power to say so. Prabhupada writes, there are people who are opposed to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepting a Vaishnava from a lower caste. And such people, because of their material understanding, they think, oh, Mahaprasad is ordinary. It is not transcendental. Arche Vishnu Shiladhi Gurushu Narmati Vaishnave Jati Buddhi Sa Naraki. If somebody thinks Mahaprasad is ordinary, if somebody thinks the deity is ordinary stone, spiritual master is ordinary human being, Guru, and it's Vaishnava, oh, he is from this particular caste, Jati Buddhi. But the names of the Lord, they are ordinary words put together, alphabets. It's all hellish intelligence. So such people, they are described here as Murkha and Dushta. They are foolish and they are mischievous. So a devotee has the power to challenge these so-called caste Brahmanas. We know the famous debate which happened between Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur and the caste Brahmanas. These caste Brahmanas were very opposed and they were saying, oh, Brahmanas are superior to Vaishnavas. And they invited Bhaktivinoda Thakur for debate. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was very, very old at that time, sick. He could not go. Saraswati Thakur, Vimala Prasad, he was a young person. Saraswati Thakur was sent, Vimal Prasad was sent by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He said, you go and you present. So it was a huge assembly of Brahmanas. And Vaishnavas were also there. Vimal Prasad, he went and he started glorifying the Brahmanas. And the Brahmanas were thinking, wow, we didn't know our glories. This person seems he's on our side. Started glorifying them so much. And when they were sufficiently puffed up by hearing their own glories, then he started glorifying what is a Vaishnava. And one after another, he started quoting so many verses from various scriptures, establishing the supremacy of Vaishnava. And without any opposition, it was declared that Vimal Prasad was victorious. All the public, all the people, they wanted to touch the feet of Saraswati Thakur. It was about to be a stampede. So police officers, British officers were there. What they did, they took Vimal Prasad and they forcibly put his feet in water. And they mixed that water in a big container and they sprinkled the water, Mahajal, on everyone. That is the power of a pure devotee. He can challenge anyone. Srila Prabhupada, he would challenge all the powerful sannyasis and brahmanas of India. And he established this movement based on this principle that Vaishnavas are greater. It doesn't require to take birth in any family, any particular family to practice devotional service. Brahmana is not by birth, it is by quality. Gunakarma vibhagashaha. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he replied, he said, the Vedas, the Puranas, and the great sages, they are not always in agreement with others. Because there are different religious principles. Srila Prabhupada quotes this verse, Nasa Rishir Yasya Matam na Bhinnam. There are different rishis and they have different opinions. If one rishi's opinion is not different from other, he is not a rishi. So therefore, there will always be differences in opinion. Unless one reaches this platform of worshipping the absolute truth, there will always be differences. Only when one starts worshipping the supreme absolute, all differences are resolved. Because one actually comes in knowledge. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yaschasmi tattvataha. On that absolute platform, there is one God. There is one deity and there is one process of worship, not many. That is the bhakti. And that is described in Bhagavad Gita by Krishna, Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Braja. That is described in Srimad Bhagavatam, Dharma Projita Kaitavatra Parama. Again and again, Bhagavatam describes how Paro Dharmo is worship of the Lord. Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo Yato Bhakti Adhokshajit. Srila Prabhupada writes all that. So Mahaprabhu is telling, oh, these differences of opinion are common. People think in different ways. And then Mahaprabhu speaks a very, very powerful verse. Dharma sthapana hetu sadhura vyavahar puri gosairayai acharan sei dharmasar. This is a very, very important verse which Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has spoken. And Srila Prabhupada, he has given a huge elaborate purport on this verse. Dharma sthapana hetu sadhur vyavahar puri gosairayai acharan sei dharmasar. The great personalities, a devotee, he establishes the true purpose of religious principles. Dharma sthapan hetu, the devotees, they behave in a way to establish the principles of dharma. And Madhavendra Puri, whatever he did, that is the essence of all religious principles. Madhavendra Puri yai acharana say dharma sar. That is the essence of all the scriptures, all the religious principles. Srila Prabhupada, he quotes from Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who is a sadhu? Sadhu is actually also called as Mahatma. And who is a Mahatma? Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakritim ashritaha. A person who has taken shelter of the internal potency of the Lord. He is a Mahatma. He is a Mahajan. Srila Prabhupada in this purport gives a list of material Mahajans. Everyone has Mahajan in this world. A businessman considers a banker to be Mahajan. Oh, whatever he does, that is most important. A karmi who is just interested in doing some yajna and going to heavenly planets, Kriya Vishesh Bahulam Bhoga Ishware Gatim Prati. For them, the philosophical speculators like Jaimini, they are Mahajan because they have given all this. For the yogis who are interested in Brahman, for them, Patanjali Rishi is Mahajan. For the Gyanis, who are interested in cutting off all the relations of the world and realizing how they are not this body, they are soul. For them, the atheistic Kapila, then Vashishta, Durvasa, Dattatreya, the impersonalists, they are Mahajans. Then there are some demoniac people also. For demoniac people, Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, Ravan, Meghnad, all these are Mahajans. Then there are some materialistic anthropologists who are doing all the research work to find the source of the universe, the creation of the species. For them, who is Mahajan? Darwin. Prabhupada writes about that also. Darwin is a Mahajan for them. And there are some people who believe that scientists are our Mahajans. They are doing so much. There are some other philosophers. There are some literary people. They are also accepted as Mahajan by people, common people. So therefore, you cannot avoid to accept somebody as Mahajan. You have to accept somebody as Mahajan. But there are some material Mahajans. There are some spiritual Mahajans. So material Mahajans, they are accepted by people, those who are similarly materialistic. Shvavidvana Mushtrakrei Samsuta Purusha Pashu Nayatra Karna Pathopeta Jatu Nama Gadakraja. Bhagavatam describes second canto. People who are like dogs, hawks, camels, and asses. They are respected by those who are similar. They will never hear the names of Krishna. So materialistic people, they will only accept these materialistic Mahajans who have nothing to do with Krishna. Animalistic leaders, they are worshipped by other animals. So Bhagavatam is very strong sometimes. Why animalistic? Only thinking of eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. How to enjoy in this life. How to become more and more materially successful and never understanding the purpose of life. That is materialistic animal civilization. So Prabhupada writes, self-deceived persons sometimes accepts leaders or masters from some priestly order. And these priests, they are themselves deceived. They are bogus. They don't know the goal of life. In Bhagavatam, 5th canto, there is a description of forest of material enjoyment. In that also, there is a similar description. A merchant, he is traveling in the forest to get wealth, to get some material things which he can sell and make profit. He is suffering so many things, bitten by mosquitoes, chased by jackals. And then somehow he comes to a place where there are some vultures, some herons, some owls. They are like those bogus gurus. They give some alternative ways to come out of the distress. But the distress never goes. And he starts thinking, what is happening? So all these official priests, they are like this. Andha yathandi rupaniya mana te pishatantrya murudamni baddha. Blind leading the blind. Just like in trains, many advertisements are there. बाबा राजा मुराद बंगाली 24 घंटे में समाधान ये प्रॉब्लम वो प्रॉब्लम सब सॉल्व करेंगे. They are blind leading the blind. Vrindavan Das Thakur, he tells such type of brahmanas as Dhanga Vipra, imposter brahmanas. So that's how people of the world are following materialistic nonsense. And Prabhupada continues the list. He says, Some people accept Mahajans as demons, like Putana, Trinavarta, Vatsa, Bakaya. These are also Mahajans for some demoniac people. Some people, they accept imposter gods as their Mahajan, like Poundrak, Srigal Vasudeva. He was telling, I am Krishna. Some people, they accept atheists like Charvak and Vena as Mahajans. So that's how people, they are misled by such godless, atheistic people who claim that we are God. So that's how Mahajans are everywhere. Srila Prabhupada writes, all these are unauthorized Mahajans. Mahajan means Devi Prakriti Ashritaha. Anyone who has taken shelter of the internal potency of the Lord, he is supposed to be a Mahajan, nobody else. But because people are materially inclined, they find such Mahajans in today's world. Because their intelligence is under the three modes, they are misled by such people. They can never understand what is pure devotional service. They may read scriptures, they may read Vedas, but they are misled. Vedavad Rata Partha Nanyadastiti Vadina. They become entangled in materialistic activities more and more and more. They think work is worship. They are karma veer. Some are karma veer, some are jnana veer. Some are trying to get more and more knowledge. But what is the use of all this? If our activities, they don't take us to religious principles, if our religious principles, they don't take us to renunciation, if our renunciation doesn't take us to devotional service, it is all waste. Nehayat karma dharmaya na viragaya kalpate na tirthapada sevaya jivan napi mritopi sa. What's the use of living like this? So therefore, Prabhupada writes, the conclusion is all the pious activity, all the fruitive activity, religious principles, renunciation, whatever one may do, it should all end in devotional service. Otherwise, if you're not offering whatever skills, whatever facility you have to serve Krishna, it is waste. Idam hi pumsa tapasa shutasya vashvishtasya suptasya cha buddhi dattayo avichutartha kavivirnu rupito yaduttama shloka gunanu varnanam. If you are not using your skills in serving Krishna, your tapasya, your learning, your Vedic singing of the Vedic hymns, it is all waste if it is not used in Krishna service. Prabhupada very strongly says, one may serve one's country, people, society, varnashram, dharma. One may one may serve the sick, poor people, women, children, demigods, so on. Unless one connects them to Krishna, it is all sense gratification. Extended sense gratification, Srila Prabhupada would say many times. So therefore, what we are supposed to do? Guru, Shastra, Sadhu, Vakya. Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. There are three things. This is a triad in the life of a devotee. Shastra, Sadhu, and Guru. We have to take shelter of these three principles. These are the guiding principles of our life. Accepting the instructions from sadhus, saintly people, from scriptures, and from spiritual master, the Guru. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he himself established Purir Gosaira Eyacharan Sei Dharmasar. Whatever behavior, whatever standards Madhavendra Puri has shown, That is the essence of all the religious principles. Otherwise, whatever you do, it is all waste. If we are following the people of the world, we are not going to achieve the highest. Prabhupada quotes Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Vicher vayar vashe, hacho beshe, khacho habu dububai, jiva Krishnadas, e vishwas karle tumhar dukhanai. We are being tossed by the waves of material nature. Unless we realize and accept that Krishna is my master. Krishna das e vishwas karle aar dukhanai. So therefore, those who follow these mundane Mahajans, they are sure to get distracted. And then Prabhupada quotes verses from Madhya lila, 25th chapter, 55, 56, and 58. परमकारणीश्वर केह नहीं माने स्व स्व मत स्थापे परमतेरे खंडन. There are many philosophies which are mentioned in scriptures. There are 6 types of philosophies. ताते छय दर्शन होइते तत्व नहीं जानी. All these 6 types of philosophies which are mentioned, none of them they reach the absolute truth. Therefore, of course, the first 5 they are completely atheistic. The Vyasdev's Vedanta, that is the theistic philosophy. So he says, Shri Krishna Caitanya Vani Amrite Rasar Kiho Ye Kohe Vastu Sahi Tattvasar. The words spoken by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that is the essence of all the Vedic principles. Sahi Tattvasar. So therefore, we should not go after the material Mahajans, follow the spiritual Mahajans. For spiritual Mahajans, there is only one truth, that is Krishna Bhakti. That's all. Madhavendra Puri is that Mahajan. For him, Krishna Bhakti is the ultimate goal of life. And he behaved like a pure devotee. He established the principles of pure devotion. Therefore, he is Mahajan. And Mahaprabhu approved all these devotional, spiritual Mahajans. He says there are 12 Mahajans. And to select our Mahajan in Gaudiya Sampradaya, we have to follow in the footsteps of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his representatives like Swarup Damodar Goswami, then the 6 Goswamis, Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Das Raghunath. And then Prabhupada also quotes about Sridhar Swami. He is a great commentator of Srimad Bhagavatam. They are Mahajans. Then we have some more Mahajans like Chandidas, Vidyapati, Jayadev Goswami. They have written wonderful, compositions. These are all our Mahajans. And then Prabhupada writes there are some imitative Mahajans also. Who are they? These imitative Mahajans, they imitate the actual Mahajans just to get some name and fame. And they take people away from actual Mahajans. So that's how Srila Prabhupada explains in great detail about this verse. Dharma sthapan hetu sadhur vyavahar puri gosair ei acharan sei dharma sar. And then Mahaprabhu quotes this famous verse we have heard many times. Tarko pratishtha shutayo vivinno nasa rishiryasya matam na bhinnam dharmasya tattvam netam guhaya mahajano yena gatasa pantha. It is very difficult to understand the conclusions of the scriptures. They are all inconclusive because everybody is giving different opinion whom to follow. Mahajano yena gatasa pantha. Follow the great Mahajans. So after this discussion, this Brahman served lunch to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, very happy. All the people, they started coming to have darshan of Mahaprabhu. Thousands and thousands of people are coming. Mahaprabhu would come out of the house and he would loudly chant with his hands raised, Hari Om. And everybody is ecstatic, chanting the names of Krishna. And they were dancing. So that's how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he stayed in Mathura. And then he'll leave and he'll enter Vrindavan. That we'll discuss next time. हरे कृष्णा। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु की जय। श्रील कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी की जय। श्री चैतन्य चरितामृत की जय।